So also I remember it: true, reject, not true, not reject. If that helps you, amazing. This is exactly how I remember it. What's up, you guys? This is Aditi. Welcome back to our channel. One of our subscribers asked me to make a video. You can see the comment. I decided to make two videos. Actually, technically there won't be three, but directional, non-directional पे next week आ जाएगा. Today we'll talk about the two types of errors, and they are pretty scary. In my opinion, they were very scary to me. So let's begin. Before we jump to the topic of the video, although there is a timestamp in the description, so if you want to directly jump, you can. But first, let's understand the two types of hypothesis. So there are two types of hypothesis: null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis. In simple words, alternate hypothesis is the experimenter or the researcher's theory that they're trying to prove by, let's say, something like playing sport every day makes you fit, something like that. Okay, they are trying to prove this, and this is their theory. Whereas null hypothesis will be the opposite of alternate hypothesis. We will try to disprove the null hypothesis, or we will try to negate the null hypothesis. So in this example, it would be like playing sport every day does not make you fit. I forgot what the example is, but you got the point. Now the question comes as ki, okay, alternate hypothesis समझता है that we are trying to prove this. The question comes as ki, why do we need null hypothesis? So let's take the example that paper burns at 250 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this is our alternate hypothesis. The question comes is that if you want to prove this theory, you would just take a paper, you will light it at 250 degrees Celsius and it will burn, and you'll be like, ta-da, see, I proved my theory. But the question comes is that what if paper burns at 249 degrees Celsius, or if it also burns at 251 degrees Celsius? So if it does happen, if 249 पे भी burn होता है, 251 पे भी burn होता है, then you saying that a paper burns at 250 degrees does not really stand, right? Because 250 degrees Celsius is the only degree or temperature पे paper should burn. It's just an example, okay? I don't know chemistry or science that much. And this is the reason why we need null hypothesis. Coming to those errors, the main reason why you are here to watch this video, we already know that if the null hypothesis is true, so we will accept null hypothesis and we will reject the alternate hypothesis. And if the null hypothesis is not true, matlab alternate hypothesis, apna theory is true, then we will reject the null hypothesis and we will accept alternate hypothesis. But jab ulta pulta ho jata, that's when obviously we have the error. There are two types of error, type 1 and type 2. So type 1 error is when HO, null hypothesis, is true, we reject the null hypothesis. So it's also known as false positive, and false positive reminds me of the pregnancy kit that women or whoever would get pregnant would use. It can happen that you actually use the pregnancy. You have this stick, you use it, and then you have those blue lines and plus minus whatever, and shows that you are pregnant or not pregnant. So it's showing blue, it's showing this plus sign or whatever, and shows that you're pregnant. And then you go and meet a gynecologist and it says that, oh, you're not. That is a false positive, which is exactly what type 1 error is. Another way I remember is, again, it's going to be a pregnancy wala example. It's like type 1 error would be man being pregnant. Like, it's obvious that men cannot get pregnant. You saying that, oh, you are pregnant. That doesn't exist. So as I remember the type 1 error, where we know that the null hypothesis is basically men cannot get pregnant. That is true. We don't need to prove it. But let's say that it is true, but we are not accepting it. We are rejecting it, and we are saying that that man is pregnant or men can get pregnant. If that helps. Coming to type 2 error, where null hypothesis is not true, but we do not reject it. Like, that's how I remember it. Type 1 error is HO true, HO reject. And type 2 error is HO not true, HO not reject. basically you are accepting it. So also I remember it: true, reject, not true, not reject. If that helps you, amazing. This is exactly how I remember it. Again, for this example, again I'm going to use a pregnancy wala example where you have this woman who is in her third trimester. You can see her baby bump like very evidently, apparently, but still you are saying that she's not pregnant. Like, also type 2 error is also known as false negative. Okay, so this is the example I came up with because I'm a lawyer. Let's say that null hypothesis is I am innocent, because the legal principle that our legal system stands on is innocent until proven guilty. So let's say that I am accused of a crime, accused, okay? We don't know if I've done it or not. And null hypothesis is I am innocent. So if I am innocent, then I should be acquitted, I should go home. And if I'm not innocent, matlab I'm guilty, then I should be convicted by the judge and I will go to jail. So that's how it would go. If I'm innocent, if that is true, I will be acquitted. If I'm innocent, that is not true, then I will be convicted. But in type 1 error, if I'm innocent, it is true, then I am convicted, I will go to jail. We are rejecting the null hypothesis that says that I'm innocent. Whereas in type 2 error, I am not innocent, that means I'm innocent, null hypothesis is not true, then I am going home, right? Like, it's not rejecting it. Again, the same concept: true, null, reject, null, not true, null, not reject, null, if that helps. Coming to the second example, which I found online, and it is about the boy who cried wolf wala story. Like, we all know that story, right? Where the boy cries wolf and there is no wolf the first 3 times, and the villagers come 3 bar and then they see there is no wolf. But the 4th time, and it is an actual wolf, and the boy starts shouting for help. Koi bhi nahi aata hai, because they think he's lying, and the wolf eats the boy. We're going to use this story. Actually, I think you must be knowing the story, but we're going to use the story to understand type 1 and type 2 error. So, there is no wolf will be null hypothesis, obviously. So in the first 3 times, what the villagers do when they actually come for the boy's help is type 1 error, because there is no wolf, it is true, but you are rejecting the null hypothesis, like there is no wolf, and the villagers actually aa jate thinking there is a wolf. Whereas the last time, jab wolf sach mein hota and the boy is asking for help and crying for help, when villagers do not come, that is the type 2 error, sorry. So there is no wolf, that is the null hypothesis. But the 4th time when the boy starts screaming wolf fire, so that means it is not true. There is no wolf, it's not true, because there is a wolf. And the villagers make type 2 error because they don't go and they do not reject the there is no wolf null hypothesis. I hope that explains it. True, null, reject, null, not true, null, not reject, null. Again, I'm repeating this over and over again after every example, so आपके दिमाग में बैठ जाएगा. I will give like an overall again with the pregnant one, because I really remembered type 1, type 2 error अच्छे से because of the pregnant wala example. So type 1 error is when a man is pregnant. Like, we know for a fact that men cannot get pregnant. So men cannot get pregnant is a null hypothesis, and when we say that man is pregnant, we are making type 1 error, because men cannot get pregnant is true, but we are rejecting the null by saying that the man is pregnant. I'm repeating this again, I'm sorry. And type 2 error is when there is a woman with this huge baby bump and still we're looking at her and saying like she's not pregnant. That would be type 2 error, because she is not pregnant is not true, because she is pregnant, and we are not rejecting the null hypothesis and we are accepting it. Again, true, null, reject, null, just type 1 error. Not true, null, not reject, null is type 2 error. I hope that explains it. I found this website which has like 7 or 8 ways. They have given some examples. So usme bhi ye wolf wala example, like boy who cried wolf, and even the pregnancy wala example, there are multiple examples in there to help you remember type 1 error and type 2 error. So I'm going to leave the link of it in the description box, so please go check it out. And that is it for today's video. I hope this was helpful. It is a little confusing. आप जितने examples देखोगे उतना best रहेगा. If you have any doubts, put it in the comment section, or you can actually give your own examples in the comment section. I will check and I will like reply to your comment telling you whether you're right or whether you're wrong. So yeah, I mean that's one way I can help out here. Okay. Please like, share this video if you learned something and it helped you revise the topic. It's quite tricky. I totally get it. Subscribe to our channel, join the community, and I will see you next Friday with another video on psychology.